Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. It's your host, David McCaig. I'm here live inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill here for its famous Wednesday wing nights. 75-cent wings here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. You're going to make sure you come out to the Sault's best sports bar 3 years in a row and enjoy the wings. The great Molson products we have available, just delicious food, great service all around here at Sportscenter. You're missing out if you're not here tonight, and you're also missing out because we're here. But if you're listening to the after version of our recording, then either way, you got to come on down to SportsCenter Bar and Grill and make SportsCenter a part of your night indeed. Now, as I mentioned, it's Dave McCaig. I'm alongside my co-hosts, Justin Hykel and Jamie Antonello. I'm going to bring in the fellas in just a few moments. Going to get through the usual introduction portion here of the show. You can listen to previous editions of the show on thegamesportshow.com or thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or get directed to them through our social media pages, Instagram or on Facebook at The Game Sports Show. Now, you can follow us on social media pages at The Game Sports Show, as I mentioned. And we were at the Wicked Sister Eagle 95.1 studios on Monday with myself, Scott, EJ, and Butch Davis. We also had our debut show yesterday on ONN TV on Soo Online, where we'll be live on Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. Myself will be hosting each Tuesday along with Jamie Antonello. Will be there when he can as well. Justin Hykel, Dustin Grondin, Alex Parr, Craig Hartsburg, and of course Scott Nason. And Scott Nason, whom is going to be our board operator tonight, as well as he always does a great job. And he's actually going to be teaching yours truly the board operation side as well, so try to develop a little more skills that I'll be showing both you, Jamie, and Justin. Now, without further ado, let's bring in the fellas before we get to the agenda of tonight's show. I'm going to go first. The guy on my left, Justin Hykel. Justin, how you doing, my friend?
I am on the left. We're doing good tonight. Not too bad.
You mean you're not on the opposite right
cross? Opposite right, left, upside down cake.
Yeah.
That was my previous directions. I give you that, Jamie. You're my cross to my left.
Not great.
Cross left.
Jamie, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, man.
You're good. You're good. You both were not in on the debut show because you both had commitments with work. Yourself, Jamie, with football practice.
What are you talking about? Don't lie to the listeners. You didn't ask us.
Oh, okay. Now we're going to that.
And we just caught the memo on the internet there.
Yeah,
I like that.
We tuned in live, and there was Dave.
That was it. And you're like, I'm a part of that.
Spotlight.
It was incredibly awkward.
And you're like, I'm a part of that.
We were texting each other like, man, this guy sucks.
Is weird.
This guy's an asshole.
We're gonna go start our own website.
Yeah, we're gonna make our own podcast.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, call it the Jamie Justin time show.
Spanky Dave Sports Hour.
Hey, we have a name. Let's go.
Christ.
Lock it in.
Fellas, agenda for
Lock
tonight, we're going to talk local football when we kick off our In the Pocket segment here for the first part of the show. Doing a quick recap. We talked about it yesterday on our ONN TV debut, but Jamie's going to give us a bit more in-depth and some more, let's say, accurate statistics that I may have not been able to state or that's been released online or anything of such that I may have missed. So we're going to be discussing that with the Sabercats, the varsity team winning 24-10 over Chatham. We had the junior team winning as well as the Soo Steelers getting a win as well this week. So we're going to dive into that in a quick little segment with local football, and that is what we'll only be talking about in terms of football here today, because in part two we're going to jump in to talk about the Toronto Raptors, the parade in more detail that we are going to be expanding more that we've already talked about in the last couple shows of this week. And we're going to get into the Anthony Davis trade. A little bit more news there that's been happening, how it shapes out the NBA off-season before we wrap up. So we'll be at Northern Superior Brewing Company tomorrow. I know there's some rumors that we're starting outside at the pier this weekend. That is incorrect. We will not be starting outside this week there. We do plan to start either next weekend or the weekend after Canada Day weekend. I know there's a little bit of a delay with our Pier 55 start, but at the Pier 55, we got to make sure the weather is going to be great in advance. And with plans this week with myself and just with the show, we want to ensure that we give the best listener experience possible. We have some big interviews coming up tomorrow. Chris Barkley will be live on the show. I've already done the interview with Chris. Little spoiler alert, little pre-recorder. Next week, we got the Pelons coming on. We got interviews lined up with Colin Miller to come on. We got Brendan Brooks who is on our staff with the Game Sports, will be joining us in the coming weeks. A lot of big stuff coming for the show indeed, and very excited to announce hopefully some more big news coming in the very near future and even beyond that. So fellas, getting right to the show right now. Jamie, I'm going to start it off with you and let you go first. Talk about the local football scene. Kick off our In the Pocket segment. You started off. Varsity Sabercats, big win last weekend. Talk about it.
Absolutely. All three Sioux teams went 3-0 over the weekend. 3 home games. It was a great day of football in Sault Ste. Marie. I'll talk about our varsity team first, like you alluded, Dave. Pretty close game versus the Chatham Cougars, a team that we went down to Chatham to play 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, that game got suspended due to lightning. We were unable to continue the game, which was unfortunate. We were up 7-0 early in that game, and we had an offensive drive that we were marching down the field, and that was right in the middle of that drive is when the lightning storm hit. So I think our guys felt pretty confident going in that game. But I'll give the Chatham team credit. They won the JV championship last year, so all those grade 11s were on that JV team last year. Their entire junior varsity staff moved up to the varsity level. This is their first year in the varsity loop in our league, the OFC. And they gave us a battle. It was 15-10 at halftime. We did not execute on offense well at all. And our special teams hurt us a little bit. They also made some big plays. We were able to block a punt late in the first quarter, and it led to an immediate touchdown. We blocked the punt, picked up the ball at the 28-yard line. We're able to punch it in on the next play. Robert Wright, our inside slot, one of the toughest guys I've ever coached, undersized, does all the gritty work that we need to make it work on the offense. I've spoken about him. He's been on the show. Primo's spoken about him. Just a very, very valued role in our offense. And he had an absolute game. Had 3 absolutely ridiculous catches in traffic. Got absolutely hammered on all 3 catches. Hung onto the ball, made a nice snag, but he caught a nice touchdown pass in the back of the end zone. The corner peeled off late off the other route and almost took the ball away, but I knew Rob was going to make that catch 100%. But our special teams let us down a little bit late. In the second quarter, we were punting out of our own end zone, and our punter shanked the punt. Unfortunately, only went 20 yards into the opposite side of the field. We had no coverage over there. Thankfully, one of our teamers, Zach Martin, he's a grade 11 kid. He's an absolute stud on special teams. Was able to go make a tackle, save a touchdown, and we were able to hold Chatham to a field goal. But really, that was those couple plays that kept us going. It was 15-10 at halftime, like I said. Third quarter, there was basically no scoring. Chatham gave up a safety to us late in the end of the third, and we were able to – it was one of those games where we felt like we were in control. Unfortunately, the score didn't really reflect that. I think our guys got a bit shocked. Chatham moved some guys around. They had a different quarterback. Not sure if maybe this guy was their starter and he was just injured. It was hard to tell based on film. But they were able to execute. Our defense shut them down, but their defense came to ball. They did a good job. And we were able to punch in a touchdown late. Fourth quarter was one of the most frustrating quarters I've ever coached, to be honest. We drove the field. We had, I think, over 450 yards of offense in the whole game. Probably had 250 yards of that on their last 3 drives of the game. Only were able to come away with 7 points. Drove the field twice, 70-plus yards, ended in a punt, and then we ended up fumbling. And then our last drive of the game. And, I mean, their team was a little bit upset. They thought we were showing some poor sportsmanship because – we were down to 55 seconds left, and we needed 1 first down to basically ice it, to take a knee. But we were working on our goal line under center heavy package. We needed the reps in game, and we just kept running. I mean, I'm kind of in that mantra of if you hate it that much, stop it. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, Justin and I, playing for Marty Smith for long enough, I think that kind of gets ingrained in your brain.
It's not like you pulled a U.S. women's soccer team and you cartwheeled all the way down the field
Exactly.
afterwards.
We were in double tight full house running dive basically 4 times in a row. And we had a stud at running back. One of our linebackers goes and plays running back for us when we go heavy. He's an absolute animal. Jacob Church, we've had him on the show. And we needed the reps. And, I mean, yes, he ran your linebacker over and we scored. And then they got upset about it and took a penalty, and one of their kids got ejected. I was like,
I'll do something about it if you don't like it.
There was a bit of a feud. So the final ended up being 24-10. It was more realistically 17-10. We scored with 10 seconds left on the clock, but really close game overall.
See, that's the whole point. I couldn't agree more with, the game's not over until the buzzer's done. Now, if you're up 50-0 or something, that's different.
Very different story.
Very different.
2 weeks ago versus Hamilton, we were up 35. Yeah. Took a knee with 20 seconds left.
Yeah,
it's a different story. I mean, but reps are valuable. And especially at the youth level, we only run 12-minute quarters. So in comparison to CIS or CFL level, that's an entire quarter of play that we don't get to play. Yep. So you're looking at about 30 to 40 plays. Yep. Probably 10 to 15, maybe even more of that at offense. So those are valuable reps for us and valuable reps for our players. So we got to take advantage of them, as many reps as we can get in a game. And unfortunately, I mean, yeah, obviously, if you're absolutely dominating a team and it's a blowout and you got all your backups in, sure, we'll take a knee. I mean, at that point, but it's still a close game. I mean, we could have. Who knows what could have happened? I mean, and we're talking about 2-run plays when we could have taken 2 knees.
See, now the junior team is improved to 4-0-1 as
Same
well.
as us.
Same as you guys. The Steelers improved to 500.
Yeah, they're 2-2
this
now.
year, 2-2. You know, a strong game by them, and obviously you mentioned Jacob Jurich. That was one
monster.
thing. That's one thing that I really got stressed on for people that were there at the game, and obviously with Dustin being on the ONN TV part, that's just how he was an absolute animal, and definitely a fact. You know, and you see Tyler Brecken.
So close.
With Tyler Brecken's name there. I did say it right on NTV yesterday, just saying.
Yes, you did.
But the thing is, you have a good all-around team there. And I see you get bugged every time we have guests here. Let's win a fucking championship is what they always say. And not saying that's going to happen.
That's been our goal for 3 seasons.
That's why you play. You play to have fun and develop that friendship side, but you want to play to win the championship at the end of the day. And you have the right team right now to do it, don't you think? Like, you got to, Justin, I'll let you jump on this first before I slide over to Jamie. They have the roster to be a championship team.
Well, I mean, every kid that's been on the show has the exact same mindset. I mean, like, they're at practice, they're in the game, they're punching the clock, they're going to work. And I think that's a pretty admirable quality to have in guys this age. Sometimes, you don't really get that ingrained in you until you go to college or your last year senior or, the victory lap senior guys.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that, through your guys' program, it's kind of top down. Everybody's got the same.
Yeah, it all starts with Primo. I think he set the bar, understands you got to bring your hard hat, bring your lunch pail, all that stuff. Come to work. We have limited practice time. We have to take advantage of every minute of practice. You can't be late. You can't miss practices. Unfortunately, guys have work commitments and stuff, but I've told guys, I said, work is not an excuse. Neither is school. You have to learn how to balance that. You are student athletes, but you got to understand, like, this is club rep football. We are competing for a summer league championship, something we have never had. I played on 3 super elite teams. Like, I mean, not tooting my own horn, but as far as Sabercats, I played on 3 of the teams that went the farthest, 3 teams that had absolute legitimate chances at capturing an OVFL championship, which was arguably a little bit more competitive league because it was really the only league then. Now we split into 2. It's kind of the major market, like 500,000 plus draw, and everybody below that. But we're working towards one goal, and our junior team's the same way. Our junior team is really taken massive strides in the last 3 seasons. I mean, they're 4-1. They're absolutely throttling people in JV. They have some absolute studs on that team. First-time quarterback Ryan Barnes, who was actually an offensive guard and D-end and linebacker for me in high school this past season. He was junior lineman of the year. Now he is the starting quarterback for the junior varsity Sabercats.
Swiss Army knife.
Having a great season. Has an absolute cannon for an arm. Really, really tough guy. Works out like crazy.
Good luck taking him down.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Tim Tebow between the tackles, right? Like, and our JV team is using him that way. Michael Nicoletta, who I also had in high school, I was pretty blessed at Cora. Had some absolute ballers. Mike was league MVP. He's playing running back. He's absolutely shredding it. Easily passing 100, 150 a game, no problem. The unfortunate thing for the JV team is their number 1 competition in JV is the Chatham-Kent Cougars, and that was the same game. When we went down to play them, both games got lightninged out. So it's going to come down to, if both teams end up 7-0-1, it's going to come down to point differential, and it's unfortunate. It looks like Chatham's going to have that on us. But, I mean, our JV team, if they win out, they'll be the 2 seed. They'll have to go to Chatham for the conference final if that's the case. That was the same thing they had to do last year. Hopefully tiebreakers come down to it and we get the home seed. But in varsity, I mean, our biggest game is upcoming next weekend. We're on our bye right now, still
Waterloo.
practicing. We got to play Waterloo, and that's an absolute monster of a game for us.
You guys play at home.
We play at home,
and
yeah.
I think the varsity, the junior team, is on the road.
Junior team is on their bye, so the junior team is on the road playing Waterloo this week.
That's right.
And then they have their bye, so we have back-to-back byes, different weeks, simply just because there's not the same. There's a couple clubs that only have JV programs, they don't have varsity, and there's a couple clubs that only have varsity and no JV, which I think is a little bit backwards. But what are you going to do? You got to develop kids. I don't think you can have kids with no grade 9 and 10 football and then jump into it in grade 11 again. I just don't think that's the way to do it. But it's a massive game for us. We're all in. We're practicing both weeks on the bye, which is unusual for us.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons, we've only practiced once. When I played, we didn't practice at all on our bye. But again, different. I feel like we really need to practice. We're our guys, and it's exam time too. So it's a perfect week for us to be on our bye. We don't have to worry about kids are going to be all done exams. No school stress anymore beyond that point. So it's going well.
It is. You guys are having a great start to your season. Start 4-0-1. It could be 5-0 though, as we discussed.
Should be 5-0.
Should be for sure. Now I'll wrap up for the In the Pocket segment here. Dave McCaig alongside Justin Hykel, Jamie Antonello. CFL Week 2 is going into this week. Argonauts get their season done this week. I talked about on the ONN TV version yesterday who were the winners last week. Just give a little love and promotion to the CFL as that is underway and the Argonauts kick off their season. Toronto, who, let's say, the city of Toronto is still in hangover mode, absolutely, despite there's some tragedy at the parade.
Yep.
You take away from that, and we'll be talking about it here tonight, then even tomorrow, Justin, I'm going to bring it up as a topic from Northern Spirit Brewing Company about, the Leaf side of things, if that happened, how people take it away. But just bring it to table here. I'll be doing that after the break when we discuss the Toronto Raptors, the parade, and the NBA offseason, which had some action already. Now, Jamie, to end it, you got some final points to say about the Sabercats before we go to break.
Yeah, I got a couple things. Sorry, Dave, I'm going to extend this on you.
You're allowed to.
Part of the reason why I wasn't able to make our first recording, our episode 1 of ONN TV, the Game Sports Show on video,
we're on television.
No longer can use the bad radio plug anymore. I mean,
no radio and TV presence
it's
now.
It's going to be tough, but
and there's more big things coming. Let me promise.
Part of the reason why I was unable to be there was due to work commitments, but more so was we had a major youth football combine and coaching clinic this past weekend. Paul Orizzetti, who is the new athletic director at Sioux College, formerly was at the University of British Columbia. He was the special teams coordinator and an offensive assistant coach for the UBC Thunderbirds. He's back home now, and he put on the first annual Northern Ontario Football Showcase and Coaches Clinic, and I think it was a great success. We had 5 youth sports coaches up. So we had Coach J.P. Cercelli, who's the head coach at Windsor. He was up. We had Warren Craney, who's the head coach at York. Tom Dennison is the offensive coordinator from the University of Toronto. Jason Riley, who's the offensive line coach at McMaster. He also is a CFL vet. He played for the Tiger Cats, won a Grey Cup back in the 80s. And, of course, Coach Ryan Beckmanis, who's a defensive coordinator from Queen's University. So we have never had more than one CIS coach or U Sports coach at any of our Sabercats game. We were able to have 5 there, and we incorporated in part of a coaching clinic. So we played our games. JV game was at 1, varsity game at 4. All the U Sports coaches made it for our varsity game. We're able to see our players in action. It's so much better when they can see them live, come down onto the field. They had an environment of when we go play an elite team on the road, when we go play at Waterloo, there's always coaches at those games, always scouting, and because they want to see the best. They want to recruit. They want to get guys to their team, and they know that we have great football here in the Soo, and we're proud to promote it. But huge thanks to Paul. He threw a great weekend. Coaches clinic afterwards was great. We were jam-packed, a full classroom at the school. Basically every Sabercat coach was there. Numerous high school coaches and a couple Soo minor coaches. It was awesome to see. We had some great presentations. Went a little bit long, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with talking football a little bit long. And then the Sunday morning we had the player combine, and we were really proud. We had over 65 players out. Paul's original goal was 100, and I told Paul, I said, Paul, we have 85 total with Sabercats, so I mean, if you're I would shoot for 80% of the Cats guys to show up, and that's pretty well what we got. Got a couple of guys from high school that aren't playing Sabercats currently, but it was a great turnout. Hot morning, guys showed up. Everybody, all the boys took a night off partying. I know it was a big win on Saturday. It's tough to take a weekend off when you're in high school. I mean, Justin, Dave, you'd agree with that. It's tough to take a weekend off, but the guys took it seriously. And the coaches understood. They understood guys had just played a game the day before, and it was actually a physical game. It was not a blowout. It was a tight game like I talked about. They were able to test, get on the field, talk to the coaches. That's the most important thing. They were able to start networking. Coaches were taking names down. Guys that we were able to help promote some of the guys that are entering university soon. And a couple of guys. There's a lot of younger guys there. We had some grade 9 and 10s that were there. They're a couple years away, so it was nice for them to get some exposure. But unbelievable weekend. And again, now we're leading into our game against Waterloo. JV team plays Waterloo on the road this Saturday. I believe it's a 4 p.m. game. And we play Waterloo next weekend, Canada Day weekend. We play them on this Sunday. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff. I hope we can get lots of people out there. I know it's Canada Day weekend. People are going to be going to camp. It's going to be busy, but that Sunday before you start partying, before you get geared up for the Monday, the big holiday Monday, come out, support our boys. It's going to be a great game. This is a game for first place, so this game means something. I think it's going to be a great day of football.
Absolutely. Jamie, you can take the floor as much as you want. Great news, as always, by the one only Jamie Antonello with wrapping up our In the Pocket segment here live from Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Dave McCaig, Jamie Antonello, and Justin Hykel. Fellas, quick break. Sip on the Molson products.
Yeah, I need a new one, by the way.
Food. Then, when we come back, it'll be part 2 and the last part of tonight's show. A little quick and dirty edition of our Wednesday edition, if you want to say that is. We're talking about the Raptors, the parade, and some free agent / trade news discussion. Round table, cross table, whatever you want to call it here at SportsCenter, the L table. They're sitting in an L shape.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, it's more like an isosceles triangle.
Yes.
Okay. I like giving shapes and directions on radio. Never anywhere else. Just pure silence, no response.
Can we just fade out of this?
We'll be right back. You're listening to The Game Sports Show.
You can follow The Game Sports Show on Facebook and Instagram at The Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to The Game Sports Show. Yours truly, David McCaig, alongside Jamie Antonello and Justin Hykel here live at SportsCenter Bar and Grill. This is Best Sports Bar 3 years in a row. Spoiler alert, Jamie, it's going to what?
Oh, before. Wow. Dude,
Wow.
I just went to the bar. You got to give me a minute.
So before giving you a minute, Jamie, do you want me to give you a couple minutes? Did they get your order right at the bar? Did they
Yes.
Get it right? Okay, they got it right? They did? Okay. Just making sure. What'd you get, by the way?
Could you stab them with your keys?
Beer. I'm thinking about it. Have I talked about these? Bad radio, but my keys look like a jackknife, so
That's cool.
I get stopped a lot.
Do you?
I can't get into bars sometimes.
Wow.
A bouncer turned me around.
That's a weapon.
It's not.
Along with the guns you got going on.
It's a flat. Okay, easy, bud.
I mean, my keys just look like keys, so I'm envious.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a knife. Or a knife-looking thing that has keys on it.
This is really bad radio.
This is awful radio.
I think it's good radio. Yeah. Random discussion. Fellas, though, we got to get back to sports.
Not keys.
We're at SportsCenter
Not
Bar
keys.
and Grill. Sue's Best Sports Bar 3 years in a row. Jamie.
Spoiler alert 4.
There we go. Listeners are going to hear that for fun part. And we're keeping all that. Sue's Best Sports Bar 3 years in a row. We're here for It's Wing Night, 75 cents. We've talked about the local football in our In the Pocket segment. You can check out previous editions of the show on Monday and Tuesday. Monday on GameSportsShow.podbean.com or through our social media pages at The Game Sports Show or TheGameSportsShow.com. Or you can check us out yesterday on NTV, Soo Online. It's now on YouTube. It's on The Game Sports Show's Facebook page. A lot of platforms you can check it out on. We also discussed the local football scene there as well, bringing In the Pocket to television as well as all the sports criteria that we talk about. And we're going to jump into our next topic of sports. Without further ado, the Toronto Raptors. The parade went on. It was awesome. It was great. It was fantastic. Kawhi had the last laugh. Carrying the MVP trophy around the whole time. Kyle Lowry carrying the championship trophy around the whole time. They had to actually shut down Toronto. No one worked in Toronto on Monday. That city was closed down.
Even Kawhi said it. He said, look at this. Nobody's at work today.
I love it. It was so funny.
We the North Day is what the day is going to be called.
The amount of people that went to the parade from here that I know is a lot. At least 6 or 7 people that I knew drove down to the parade.
You imagine you owned a bar anywhere near there?
There's no way you would have had enough stock. I'm serious.
The subways were closed. You're not getting there. You may as well have walked. It would have been quicker to get.
No, and it was probably hot as shit, and all those people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a big sweaty crowd.
Well, you were spraying champagne bottles the whole time. Kawhi Leonard was, so they might get a little refreshing.
Yeah, that's just sticky though.
It's true. But I mean, guys were fired up. It reminded me of.
It probably just smelled like booze and legalization.
Yeah. True. But the excitement level, and I love social media for the fact that we get to see all the antics that happen of every single stop on the parade route. I mean, I know, Justin, you're not going to like it, but I mean, the first Super Bowl that Gronk won, when he got so excited won the duck boats in Boston, it kind of that's kind of where like the social media like level of hype goes with parades now. I know you're not loving that comparison,
it's
but
fun. I mean, like I was tuned into that thing.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it took like 7 hours, so it was
So
basically
long.
my entire day at work.
Yes,
but
it's perfect.
Oh, I had it when I got up in the morning. I had my breakfast, like a good boy. I had put on my
big boy pants.
my big boy pants, my Sax underwear underneath that. If you want to know full details, my dress.
Are they a sponsor on the show? What are you doing?
No,
Did you put your pants on
try to
first?
get them as one.
All right.
I'd like that. Have Sax underwear on the show. I would absolutely love that. But turned on the Sportsnet NTSN version. CTV had it going. City TV had it going. Sportsnet had it going. It was all over the place. And I had it on at home. I went to work. I had it streaming at work. Sorry to my bosses that most likely be listening. Yes, I had it on at work. Obviously was not missing such a historic moment in Canadian history. The biggest moment, bigger than that, was when they actually won. When we were watching here Thursday at Sportscenter, it was
insanity.
It was insanity here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill for that game. Now you had the parade go on. We had a tragedy at the parade. We're going to save that in just a few moments. Keep for the joy part right now. You had everyone speak on stage, where everyone was expecting that if Kawhi was going to announce if he was going to stay, he would have did it there. I think that's stupid. I don't think he would have said it there. You're in a state of mind where you're having drinks. You're taken away from the parade if you do that. It's one of the biggest moments in Canadian sports history. Now,
although,
I mean, someone asked Uncle Dennis in a Toronto airport today if Kawhi was staying or not.
That's the source to go to.
And he said that would ruin the surprise.
Yes.
And to read into it further, he was wearing the new, yet-to-be-seen Kawhi claw hat with the red and black logo on it. So, I mean, the Clippers are
blue,
red and blue and white, like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, you could say it that way.
Unless he's going to the Rockets.
Yikes.
I mean, the new Raptors-colored $300 a pair of New Balances release on July 1st.
Yeah, those are going to be gone. When are they out on July 1st?
July 1st.
Like 12:01?
Like when free agency happens in the NBA.
So 12:01, and by 12:02 they're gone. Guaranteed.
There's
no way.
There's too many coincidences, I think, going on here for...
So
I'm not saying it till it happens.
So the parade, we talked about it yesterday on NTV, and we're talking about a little bit here, but we're gonna veer off from that shortly to talk about Kawhi Leonard. That's going to lead us to our trade and free agency talk. And we had a trade happen in the NBA today that we'll talk about as well. But the parade, there's never been a bigger crowd at a parade. That's already been stated, except the one that we saw on Monday. And to have something happen that did happen, though, the tragedy it did with the shooting, and I can't believe people did that. But am I surprised? No. You know what? I'm also going to say I'm not surprised, because some people are doorknobs and are going to make stupid decisions, and they're going to make dumb decisions to do this to try to be on the side of a map to take away something special. And this was absolute stupidity on their end, and I hope that, and I'm going to say this because we're on radio, I hope they're getting their ass handed to them, figuratively speaking, behind bars. Sorry. Is that too a-hole to say? I really don't care.
No, but I mean, you don't... If someone's bringing a gun into a crowd of people, I feel like they're intending on using it at some point.
Yeah.
And odds are the people they're intending on using it on also have a gun.
Yeah.
I mean,
percentages-wise,
it's
right.
just it's a bad mix of nonsense. Yeah. Why they chose that location for it to happen, or why these? I don't know.
The unfortunate thing, I mean,
it's shitty when an event like this brings the country together. Like, when's the last time you've seen everyone in this country so unified over? I mean, this is getting pretty cheesy here, but
no, but you're right.
When is everybody like? It didn't. I mean, I don't know how to like tippy-toe around this, but I mean, you had every demographic of Canadian. You were a Raptors fan. Didn't matter. You were watching the game. You were having a good time. Didn't matter if they were Boston Bruins fans or Patriots fans or, jerks like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Montreal Canadiens, I can keep going. But everyone was into it and just genuinely happy and having a good time. And then you get these fucking shitheads that, I don't know, it's shitty. And, I think as far as the Toronto Police Services go, I think it was handled pretty well.
Yeah.
And
quickly.
I'd like to hope that some people in the crowd maybe jumped this guy and fed it to him a little bit first.
Yep.
One of those instant karma moments, right?
Or maybe Masai just came onto the crowd and let him have it, like he had allegedly let this deputy have it.
Now,
allegedly.
Speaking of that, how about that nonsense going on?
Man, I don't know.
I think
seems like there's two sides to that story.
I think it's sour grapes.
I
might be.
Do you think it's going to be on the wrong side of Masai, or do you think things with this is?
I think that the Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment has enough money to make this go away.
I feel similarly, yeah.
Do they have enough money?
Unfortunately, I feel like they're going to have to pay to make it go away, but
hopefully they can pay Mitch Marner to stay too. That's another topic.
I've got many opinions on the situation. I don't think any of them are appropriate right now because I'm still relatively heated about it. But
yeah,
give us a quick summary of what you feel.
Don't put him there.
No, that's a bad spot. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, this is just my scenario. It's when the part owner of the Golden State Warriors can shove Lowry and gets the benefit of the doubt of 15, 20 minutes before anyone comes and hauls him off the court.
Crazy. And then he gets only
then Masai
Ujiri
is walking down to the court to celebrate with his team. And in every video and picture that I've seen, if you see him in the tunnel, he has his press credentials in his hand. If you see him in the stands, he has his press credentials in his stand. Or
he has a bodyguard around him.
He has a bodyguard with him. So how this guy, aside from either being a cranky Golden State Warriors fan or just being the stereotypical 5% of the bad cops that you see on YouTube and everywhere else.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it. And it's just, again, the Golden State Warriors owner or part owner can push Lowry and, it goes a couple days before any a day before any dramatics really come out of it.
See, now the big thing is, guess what? We got the last laugh, and I'm sure Masai will be fine. And Masai will be laughing once he re-signs an extension with the Raptors. Early prediction.
We hope.
And let's hope Kawhi signs, because whatever Kawhi does, that's what's going to happen with Masai as well. Just to let you know, Masai did not come to become a GM of this team to win one championship. He wants to start a dynasty, like he said. One championship already under his belt. Kawhi resigns, which will intrigue Danny Green to stay, which I think was a big part.
Well, I think Gasol will stay as well.
You bring the same team
You lose
back.
Masai, oof, we're in trouble.
I called that it's going to be Lakers-Raptors final next year already. I said this last year.
I heard that. That was bold prediction.
Bold prediction right off the hop.
Who's going to play for the Lakers? Because they only have enough salary for two players right now.
It's going to be four guys on five.
Anthony Davis and LeBron. And Anthony Davis only plays 60 games tops.
Yeah. They're going to be penalty killing all the time, and that's the wrong sport.
I heard Jose Calderon's going to go there.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, Kyle Kuzma's there making like 1.8. And everyone else he plays with makes $32 million or $5.
And Kuzma balls, man. He does work. He's a good player.
He does. Now, transition to that, we talked about the Raptors parade. We've all sports outlets and everything in Canada, we've talked about it till we're blue in the face. So we're going to transition from that. Glad that we touched on Masai Ujiri, and we touched on just the Raptors parade in general. And, NBA now, we're going to go into the free agency discussion and trade talks. First thing I'll say off the top here, we're just going to go round table with all this discussion. Memphis has traded guard Mike Conley to the Utah Jazz for Grayson Allen, Kyle Korver, and Jay Crowder, and the 23rd pick in Thursday's draft, which is tomorrow, and a future first-round pick. So
they traded Mike Conley to the U2 for Bono and future considerations for maybe the edge.
They still haven't found what they're looking for, I don't think.
No.
Hey, nicely done.
No, that was a pretty well-rounded joke right there.
That was good. Well done, fellas. I didn't add anything to that, but my laughter's
So the Utah Jazz improving, okay. Now, this market that people may think that is sort of steep, I think that's what the going market is.
The NBA's crazy.
I think Utah is a sneaky good team already. And
yeah, they're under the radar.
And the fact that you get some grit and Conley, I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah. Hey. No, and hey, man, their fan base is passionate. It's all Mormons, man.
It just sucks. You play over in the Western Conference,
Yeah. It's always a hard road.
It sucks. Like
although the East is good too.
Yeah, you got the Raptors, you got the Bucks, you got the Celtics.
There's just
the
not
76ers, but those are your only 4 teams in the East, in my opinion.
There's not as much of the TV pie that goes around in the West. I think it's
true.
Well.
It's very, very LA dominated in that area.
And it's like what Dustin said yesterday on the panel was when he said that you haven't heard anything from LeBron until this Anthony Davis trade, and I loved hearing nothing of LeBron until the Raptors won, and I'm so happy to say anything about LeVar Ball and his comments about saying how the Lakers
will never win.
Will never win again. Listen, LeVar, get off my fucking timeline, like Alex Parr said, minus the swear yesterday. You know, like, I get you want attention. You play in the NBA, and
that's LeVar's whole stick, though.
That is his stick. Like
it is. You know what? His son's gonna shtick to the frickin' New Orleans Pelicans, and they're gonna shtick in last place.
I don't think he's gonna shtick anywhere if we're gonna keep saying that.
Shtick, man. What's that? The sticky? The commercial?
Enough.
All right, Spanky.
Enough.
Listen. Now you have that shaping out the trade with Memphis and Utah. Anthony Davis.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Goes to the LA Lakers. Josh Hart.
For
Ingram,
a million things.
Ball. 3 first-round picks, including the 4th pick on tomorrow's draft, Thursday's draft.
Crazy.
Zion is going to be a Pelican. Okay, you got to think that. I have a feeling RJ is going to be as well. I just got a gut feeling RJ is going to go there.
I think RJ is going to the Knicks.
I don't think RJ is going to last till the 4th pick.
You don't think?
No.
Or you don't think there'll be a trade?
They're going 1-2, dude.
No, he's going. He's going to the Knicks at 3.
Oh, at 3?
He's ready to go.
Who's going to go 2 then?
I forget his name.
We'll get that up.
It's not there right now. But
who's picking second? Sorry, the Bulls. I don't remember who's picking second.
I know. I'm tossed up on this.
We're going to pull up the full draft here instead of waiting for producer Ghost. New Orleans goes first. Memphis is second. The Knicks, and then New Orleans. Okay, now I'll get producer Ghost out of my ear. I'll go round up the top 10. Cleveland 5th. Phoenix 6th. Chicago 7th. Atlanta 8th. 9th is Washington, and 10th is Atlanta again.
Yeah.
So you have right now in mock drafts, and this is what I've read. Too bad. Obviously, I remembered the names, but I didn't remember the team names off the top of my head. But you have Zion, who's going to go first. You have Jay Morant, who's going to go second, who's a point guard for Murray State. That's the mock draft saying he's going to go. Then you got RJ going to the Knicks. Then Darius Garland is the guy from Vanderbilt who they're predicting. And then Kobe White will go to Cleveland to round up the top 5. Kobe played for North Carolina.
Yeah,
now,
he was sick.
The Pelicans, Darius is definitely a good fit, reading and following the college basketball to extreme length more so this year than other years because of me being a huge Duke fan and following them. I was really intrigued with Zion and following Zion and RJ. The Pelicans may have some assets to go with the Knicks and try to move up in this draft, too. Will the Knicks do that? No, but here's the thing. The Knicks want to spend money this year. They've had some shit years. They want to sign KD, who's not ready this year, but they want to sign him. They want to look at Kyrie Irving, even though the Nets and the Lakers are ahead of them in those odds. They're going to look at they're going to look at I'm forgetting the top man, Klay Thompson. Sorry, they're going to look there. But again, Golden State can offer them more.
Here's the thing about Klay though. He's not playing until April at the very least.
He's got a blown out knee, and he's got to be in Space Jam 2. So
the truth.
Space Jam 2.
He's already going to be posted up throwing threes without moving in Space Jam 2.
That's why no one heard from LeBron. He's too busy announcing the cast of Space Jam 2 and his fantasy roster for the Lakers.
But I'd be sorry, Dave, not to cut you off, but I'd be shocked if RJ's there at 3. If you're the Knicks, there is no way you pass him.
No.
If you love a guy in this draft, and this is a top-heavy NBA draft. Like there is legit prospects here. Not
DeAndre Hunter, Kobe White,
there's
Jarrett
some
Culver.
dudes here, and obviously you're going to get dimes and rough. Look at what happened to Steph Curry. He was a mid-first round pick, balled out in the NCAA tournament at Davidson. I remember watching him when I was in high school. Absolutely shredded that tournament, was sinking everything, 30-point games like nothing. But RJ and Zion are legit prospects. I don't think you can pass them up. I think RJ's a guy, though, and there's something to be said, like point guards and whatever, unless you're an elite shooter or you're absolutely making passes, it's hard to tell at the college level. It's just so different. But if you're that guy who can create offense, RJ and Zion are guys who can create offense anytime. Look at the Raptors this year. We only really had 2 guys that could create offense in their own. It was Kawhi and Pascal. Those guys are coveted. There's a reason why those guys are franchise players and end up dominating, and those are the guys that get paid massive amounts of money.
Well, I think personally that RJ is a more long-term player.
Yes.
And he's different.
He's also a safer pick.
Well, I think Zion's just going to have the wear and tear that the big men always have. That's
True.
You see, and you have with RJ Barrett going 3, that the Knicks would be crazy to do that. But I think for some reason that the Knicks may be open to potentially moving
Unless
that
the Pelicans give them like 4 picks or something.
Yeah,
like.
it's got to be something stupid because you got to think, even though the Knicks want to spend money, I believe, what do you only have room for? 2 max contracts?
Yeah.
And then you've got to backfill your roster with relatively cost-effective players. And
Yes.
rookie contracts is one of those ways to do it.
And if you have a stud rookie who you can keep on that deal for 3 years,
There's
Yeah.
one
You
do it.
person. There's one person though that people may look at when it comes to the Duke cast. Cameron Reddish, and he's ready to go 8th right now to Atlanta. That's one of the guys.
Yeah, no, he was
that's
sick.
Rated, that I think would be if you get
he's
him.
one
at
of those
8th,
guys that's kind of like
a
that
steal.
Steph Curry, right?
The other
steal could end up coming out.
The other steal, and I was looking at comparisons to this kid, Jackson Hayes. Okay, and Jackson Hayes is compared to be Jared Allen. That's kind of what he's compared to be. But I think this guy.
So he's a pass rusher.
He is.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
the big thing is I think having him at 10, you get him at 10. Again, that's Atlanta. I'm looking at Atlanta right now and saying, okay, you got New Orleans as 2 picks in the top 5. Great. But Atlanta, what they can do with the 8th and 10th pick in that draft, they can make a splash. They also pick at 17 as well, which is a great pick.
Well, here's
This
the
is
thing.
a deep draft.
Well, no, here's the thing. Atlanta may move up now.
If they
You
do
throw-
that. If
well,
not,
you
you
wanna
can
get in the
take
top-
the risk. You can
Well, here's
draft Reddish and draft Hayes. Then you got 2 guys. You got Reddish drafted at a small guard, or if you want to go small forward, then you got Jackson Hayes, who is your center, or power forward. You whatever you want to put him at. You got 2 different
The
positions.
NBA is almost so fluid now, though, is you need those guys that can play multiple positions, that can guard multiple people. Look at, because how many times do we see teams get small in key points in games when they're on defense? Because you have to be able to transition when teams try and move people around. And teams are getting away, unless you have an elite big, which only like maybe 6 or 7 teams have.
And they're hard to come by.
Absolutely. Like, even look at, like, you can't, I don't know if you can call Pascal Siakam for the Raptors an elite big yet, just because he hasn't really got that point. Mark will do decent things, but, like, you have certain guys, like Embiid's one, Giannis is another. Like, you only have a handful of those guys in the league.
Yeah,
And that create absolute mismatches against any single person that guards them, unless they're a 7-footer who's athletic. Which
They're a
is hard to
one-man
find.
show. That's
Yeah.
and people are saying if you want to with the Raptors are going to pick Chris Wilkes.
Wow. I mean, that's going to change.
At 59 is the pick as they pick that 6'7" small forward from UCLA.
Yeah,
is who they're rumoring.
He's
to pick.
basically almost Mr. Irrelevant of the NBA draft.
But the big thing is from that draft is tomorrow. Zion going first around the table. That's definitely what's agreeable. You say RJ goes second.
Well, I'd be surprised if he lasted.
I'm saying RJ.
No way he goes past 3rd.
I think honestly, I have a gut feeling New Orleans moves up to 3rd to get RJ.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope the Knicks shouldn't do it. I'm saying it right on the Knicks should not do that. If RJ's there at 3, you're fucking taking RJ. They'd be dumb not to. But if they want to take a trade from the Pelicans, it's not a bad idea. It depends what New Orleans is expecting to offer. Because if you have to move down one and take Darius Garland or Colby White, you're still getting a winner.
I just don't think, like, when's the last time the Knicks have had a homegrown superstar? I think this is their chance to do it. They
really wanted Zion. They really wanted Zion.
So did everybody.
But I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't think Zion long term is he's cool right now, but
He's getting comparisons to Charles Barkley and Blake Griffin.
Yeah, those are good comparisons.
good comparisons.
I like Charles Barkley more than the Blake Griffin. I think Charles Barkley makes more room or makes more sense.
I don't
My
know.
opinion. I think RJ Barrett, man, I see a lot of Andrew Wiggins, and Wiggins is still young. I see similarities in terms of that, not because they're both Canadian either. It's just a coincidence.
And now Minnesota's trying to get rid of Wiggins like he's a hot potato.
I don't know why. I think Wiggins is a good athlete, good competitor.
It's one of those things where, like, if you haven't done it by now, then you're just a role player at that point now.
That's true. Fellas, we got a couple more things, though, before we run out of time here. We got to transfer back to the trade quickly with the Lakers and then some offseason rumors between Kyrie.
That's where we started.
Yeah,
sure.
That is. We haven't forgot, but we translate over this because of the Pelicans trade here. So it all connects. The Lakers, are they done? Absolutely fucking not. These guys are not done. This is going to be a busy offseason for the Lakers. Not surprised they got Anthony Davis. And the Pelicans got some great return. I don't care what anybody says. Anthony Davis was not staying with this team. He did not want to be there. And to get first-round picks that you did and all the players that you did for somebody who was fucking off anyways, you did the right thing.
No, you basically got like a 3 times return and draft picks on his eyebrow.
Yeah,
shave that eyebrow to an LA thing, please.
You have to make it work though. Look at what Philly was able to do with all those picks, and they were able to hit on people.
Oh yeah, that was.
You have to make it work. But what happened in Philly will never happen again, just based on the way the NBA rules have changed. But
you got to hit.
You got to hit.
You do.
And here's the thing: you got to hope too is that the Lakers maybe kind of aren't the best for a year.
You know what I kind of
because if they're making it to the conference final, you're getting the
they're making the NBA final.
You're getting the 29.
I still think they're a mess. I do
too.
Like, I don't think they're doing jack shit.
One of those guys. If LeBron or Anthony Davis next year don't play all 82 games, they're not going to be a top 2 team in the West.
Depends who they get next. If it's Kemba Walker,
it doesn't matter.
They don't have the money to do it.
They can sign that.
They can sign one more guy, and then you got to fill your team with rookies and scrubs. Sure. Like, has LeBron won with absolute garbage teams? 100%. Look at when he made it to the NBA Finals as a Cav the first time. I mean, they got dominated in the finals because he was playing with trash players around him, like Anderson Varejao, whatever, dude. But he did not have help around him in that time.
No, he didn't.
But he was young and like an absolute stud and was dominating. But I think it's going to be tough. I don't think they're going to get there until this next year's going to still be rough. Because they're not going to have enough pieces. You have to survive.
You gotta balance your roster. The Raptors are a perfect example of that.
Yes.
I mean, no.
Yes. Oh, the Raptors are the mint example.
Like the Raptors had a pretty wicked trade deadline that could have went either really bad.
And people thought they overpaid for Gasol.
Or really excellent.
That was a good trade.
Now
JV is opting for free agency too, and he's going to get paid. The guy did pretty well in Memphis.
I don't like that.
No, I know. I'm not saying he's going back to Toronto, but the guy went to Memphis when he was basically the guy, and he actually got good numbers, just under 20 points a game. He was averaging double-double a game almost. The guy is going to get paid, which people maybe think I'm crazy. I think he's going to the Lakers. I'm saying that right now. He's going to the Los Angeles Lakers, and it'll be a decent deal where they'll still be able to afford Kemba Walker. That is what the round out for is going to be in LA. That's my prediction.
I think he's going to a team in the East who's going to try and take a shot at the Raptors.
The Knicks?
No.
Top of your head, you have an answer?
Maybe Boston.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Boston's got to pay someone.
Go back to Toronto?
And I mean, I think Horford wants out of Boston too. Yeah. So
Boston's another tire fire. But I'm going to say right now, Vince Carter. I've had a couple bold predictions here saying the Lakers, Raptors, then JV to the Lakers. So my last one is going to be here that I'm going to say that Vince Carter returns to Toronto next year.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I also wouldn't. I wouldn't be totally surprised if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think because the tough thing for him is he's basically not going to play if he signs here.
Bench guy.
Yeah, but he's
win a championship.
He's not even going to get in.
You don't think so?
Well,
no.
What's he going to play?
Jeremy Lin's got to get in.
That rhymes. That rhymes.
Really, though?
I think, he'll get bench time in the season. Playoffs, he won't play much.
He will, but not a ton, I don't think.
I don't think.
But it's the Vince Carter name that they'll let him play.
That legacy. Absolutely. He will sell so many jerseys again, it'll be unbelievable.
They're past that point. I mean, the Raptors let Master P play on the team once, too.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's a thing.
What I may see happening is him play some, because he's going to want to still play. I think he can still play. I think he feels like he can still contribute, even if it's a guy off the bench. But he still wants to be in that top 7.
Well, and he's not going to go to the Raptors 905 team.
Too?
Exactly. He's not going to go there.
Is he going to the Lakers too? God.
Well, no. But I'm going to add on to this. Sorry, he'll go play somewhere, probably sign a one-day contract and retire a Raptor. I can see that 100%. I think that's more realistic.
I think that's the way it goes, but I don't think to try and piggyback off this year's success, because that's all it is to me at this point. I mean, don't forget, he went to graduation instead of being with the team.
Water under the
playoffs.
Bridge. Water under the bridge.
Well, it is, but you have to. I don't know. Maybe I hold a grudge too long.
No, hey,
you are heartless.
Carrie Fraser.
Jake Gardner. Jake Gardner.
Don't even start.
Okay, talk about that tomorrow, guys. Let's go.
Tomorrow. But okay, Last topic for the NBA free agency side before we conclude tonight's show. Kyrie Irving. Laker net, Nick.
Who cares?
Fucking Pelican.
Anywhere that wants to deal with that head case.
Oh, boy.
Okay, he is a cancer in that locker room, it seems like. Everything where he goes, it seems like it's not working out. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that if LeBron, keyword, if LeBron lets him back in LA, because he's got full control of that decision, like Jack Eichel, the Buffalo
At least in the
Sabres.
public eye, they've kind of dapped up and made peace, but who knows what it is behind closed doors there. So, but here's the other thing. They signed Kyrie. They literally can't sign anybody else. Literally. They will barely be. Kyrie will have to take a pay cut to play there, first of all. They have no money.
Yeah.
They have no money.
Now, that leads me to this. Speaking of money and winning, I lied. I do have one more point. Kawhi Leonard. We say that we didn't answer this question yet.
I don't even want to talk about it until it happens.
Does he stay or go? Quickly, does he stay or go, Justin?
I think he's staying.
What's the contract?
5-year max.
Okay, Jamie.
Can he sign a 5-year max?
Yeah.
I thought it was a 2.
Well, you could do 5.
I don't even want to talk about it.
You got to give me an answer.
I don't like it.
Pass?
Well, no, I've been feeling pessimistically, and I'm worried about it. That's why I don't want to talk about it. Because I don't think he's going to resign.
There it is. Okay, now where's he going?
I have no clue. Maybe L.A. somewhere.
Okay, L.A.?
But it's got to be the Clippers.
LA?
There's no way the
Clippers.
Lakers can't afford him.
Okay, so he's going to the Clippers, you're saying?
Yeah.
On a max deal. There's the answer. See, I can just get out of him.
I don't like it, though.
That's okay. You're allowed to say that.
I don't like saying it.
He is going to fucking stay, and it's not going to be a 5-year max. It's going to be a 2-year.
That's what I...
And it's going to be a 2-year. They're going to give him $38 million a year, and he's going to win 2 more fucking championships, and we're going to build a statue. We should already be building a statue. Right now it says Scotiabank Arena.
Or
we're already naming a holiday
after.
Coactus. Oh, Coactus.
You got to plant coacti everywhere. It's going to be a
that
coacti garden.
He's so famous. If that guy
Nathan
had no
Phillips
job,
Square
he has a
is turning
job.
into a coacti garden.
If that guy listens to the show, you can call me in and come on the show. You can be a staff member on the show.
He's Kawhi's gardener now.
Hey.
He will be a Raptor, and he will stay next year. I'm telling you right now. I'm saying it. Kawhi or Kyrie will be a Brooklyn Net.
It seems like a waste, but a good spot for him.
Yep, perfect
Hang out with
spot.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, you know him and Beyonce. They can have couples nights. They can play charades. They can fucking play Guess Who, Guess What We're Not Winning. Play those games. You know, those are fun games to win.
Go hang out in the shithole that is the Barclays Center.
Yeah,
Barclays
seriously.
Center. That's a fuck. The Islanders moved out of there. It's all shithole it is back to the Coliseum.
I think they're playing 30 games there still.
Yeah.
That's freaking brutal.
Yeah.
Jamie Antonello, Dave McCaig, Justin Hykel, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Soo's Best Sports Bar, 3 years in a row. Jamie.
What?
Finish that sentence.
Oh, going on 4. Wow,
Holy.
twice he got me.
Yeah.
It's not my night.
I mean, I didn't know what to say there, so.
Yeah, that's okay. And before we wrap up, I'll say right now the NHL Awards tomorrow night, Northern Spirit Brewing Company, myself, Justin Hykel, and newcomer to the show, Alex Parr, who people will ask if he's Dane's replacement. No, Dane is not replaced. Dane is just on a hiatus for 7 to 8 months of the year.
Fighting
and he still owes me $300 throwing him under the bus.
How many times are you going to say that on radio?
100 times till he pays me back.
All right.
It's already an interest of 3% each day he doesn't pay me.
You know that where he's living, he can only communicate with carrier pigeon, right?
Yeah,
True. Or smoke signals.
And most of them are burning up in the.
But here's the thing. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the NHL awards that happened tonight. Carey Price shared a beautiful moment. Austin Matthews named the cover athlete of the NHL 20. Then I'm buying that for sure. We're also going to talk about some news in terms of hockey, in terms of free agency, and some fun hockey discussion as we always have, and baseball discussion.
Do we know what Alex's favorite team is, so I can load up on the ammunition?
Leafs.
Oh,
We're not a Leaf fan of the
right.
panel.
He's okay then.
He's okay then.
Not a Leaf fan of the panel.
What was his favorite team before yesterday?
The Toronto Huskies.
Okay.
Also, staff members of the show, Brendan Brooks and Craig Hartsburg will be joining us on radio. Brendan, not tomorrow. Brendan will be there next week. But speaking of next week, Monday we'll be at the Wicked Sister for some show called The Game Sports Show that you're listening to. Myself, Scott, Butch, and EJ. Then next week on TV, 6:30. And you will be back at SportsCenter next week as well. Then obviously Northern, keep intact on their social media pages for updates on when you're going to be getting the update. If we're going to be outside or not. But we probably will not be outside until now, the beginning of July. Justin, thanks for coming on, pal.
Oh, we'll see you tomorrow.
Jamie, thanks for coming on, pal. And
Happy
you're more
to
than
be
welcome
here.
to come tomorrow if you want to.
Practice, buddy.
That's right, Thursday practice. I knew that.
Talk about practice.
Talk about practice.
Dave McCaig, your side at SportsCenter Bar and Grill. I want to thank you to Frank Lagori for his continuous and his amazing support with the show since 2015. and he's the guy that is, wherever I go, he is beside me with the show. I'll tell you right now, Frank Ligori and this staff of his, especially the beautiful Alicia White.
Easy, buddy.
Giving us some Molson products and some delicious food. I had a neutral tonight, actually, instead of a beer. I'm flat, I'll tell you that right now.
Everybody knows you had a neutral, Dave.
Say thanks to Scott Nason, our board operator tonight, and to you, the listeners, for making us a part of your nights. To listen to us, it must be fun or sometimes exhausting, but either way, give us our feedback down below on our Podbean page, social media page, or anything of such to be involved. At the Game Sports Show, Facebook and Instagram, we will have our fan guests coming on again starting in July, so if you want to be a fan guest on the show, don't hesitate to sign on. I've already gotten over a handful of inquiries today. That ONN TV debut must have been better than I thought. And here I am, Dave McCaig inside Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sue's Best Sports Bar 3 in a row. Famous 75-cent wing night, signing off and reminding you until tomorrow from North Spirit Brewing Company to keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch a touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Go Raptors, booyah.